Hello everyone, this is Aiden here, and today I want to show off what is a very cool and exciting new feature of Burroughs, namely common table expressions. So as you probably know, up until this point Burroughs has not supported any level of nesting within queries, and that has all changed now. We can now do both common table expressions with the with keyword in addition to subqueries. And let me go ahead and prove it by showing a quick example here. So I'm going to start up a Burroughs client, and let me stop my old one first. Alright, so let me start up a Burroughs client here, and let's show a quick example of how the power of what we can now do with Burroughs with common table expressions. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Burroughs UI here, and let's give it a second to get all connected, get the database loaded up here. As you can see, I don't have any data yet. All I have are these Docker Connect topics. So let's go ahead and start up some producers. So I'm going to start up both the transactions and the customer's producer for today's example. I'm just going to make a quick output table, call it CTE demo for common table expression. And let's go ahead and get a little query I've prepared loaded up here. So this query, what it does is, given this transactions data set, right, and we have a data set of grocery store transactions, and what it does is it attempts to find items, or not attempts to, it will find the frequency of each pair of items. So the goal is to find which items are most frequently bought together in the same basket. So you can see here it has a common table expression, and unfortunately this query does not work just as is. We have to make a tiny modification to it because of this join here, and you'll see that it's a self join, which are currently not supported in Burroughs, but you might see it coming up soon in a new version. So I'm just going to go ahead and expand this common table expression slightly, do something like this: transactions 2 as select star from transactions. Okay, and then there we go. So we got transactions 2, and we can change this down here. Now we have our thing ready to go. So you can see here we have this common table expression pairs, which joins them, does the self join, finds the ones that match, and have the same basket number and different product numbers. Now another important point here, that's something that's new in the new version of Burroughs, you can actually have multiple conditions in your join clause, in the on clause of your join, I should say, which is not the case before. And so Burroughs is now smart enough to take this and move it down here to the where clause. And then once we have that, we can now select from our CTE down here and actually do the aggregation. So let's give this a try and see if it works. So I'm going to go ahead and press the execute button. Let's check our console here and see what's happening. So it's spinning and spinning, and alright, we got one stream created over the transactions topic. Looks like we have our transactions 2 now is being created. That's good. And pairs has been created. Alright, so it's almost done. We're creating the table. It should be basically the last step, except for the connector and linking to the database, and done. We can hop over to our status, and any second now I would expect to see a active status. Alright, processing. We're processing them right along there. So let's go check out our data. So select star from CT demo, and maybe let's filter this a little bit. So let's do where frequency. Don't forget to put quotes around your column names. Let's do greater than 2 or something like that, and let's limit this so we don't overwhelm my browser. And what do we got? So there we go. So we can see a source item, target item, and frequency, and there are actually only 3 items with greater than 2, at least so far. Now there are more. And we are set. So yeah, we can see which ones are frequently bought together. And the query is not quite done yet, but it will be soon. We could keep doing that, but it looks like it works. We got our common table expression. In this case, we actually have 2 common table expressions, and we can select from them kind of in a cascading way, right? Like we have this one, which gets used in another common table expression, which gets used in the final output query. So that, if I don't say so myself, is quite cool. Now, a couple things to note about this. I'm going to go ahead and shut this query off, and hopefully it should clean everything up correctly. So, okay, the connector got dropped. There goes the table. There goes all the streams. And there we go. So we're good to go. And everything got cleaned up correctly. Now, one thing that you should probably know is that you can't, at this point, do an aggregation in your CT, right? If I wanted to do select store R, comma sum spend from transactions, group by store R inside my CT, and then do something like select, count star. This is not a particularly useful query, but let's just say I wanted something like this. Let's do, so this query is just a made-up one to prove a quick point. But if I execute this, it'll tell you subqueries cannot contain a group by. So that's our main limitation at this point, and a source for further improvement. And hopefully we'll be back soon with that. But that's all for this demo. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.